After a caution lap to allow Panch to get off the track, the race is restarted with Johnson's number 26 in first place. Now, all Junior needs to do is keep his mount humming to win one for the home folks. The checkered flag drops, and that means Junior's last signal from his jubilant pit crew is that worldwide symbol of success, the American dollar sign. The crowd is caught up in the duel that rages right up to the last couple of laps. And when Johnson finally guns past Hutcherson into the lead, there's one question in everybody's mind, including Junior's. Will his car, whining out every last RPM of which it's capable, hold together until the finish line? It does, and a jubilant pit crew piles on for the short trip to Victory Circle.
Junior has led almost all of the way. There's Panch's car back into the pits. But now he is after Derringer and after him good on the track. Back to the action. He's got him. Junior Johnson that quickly has retaken the lead from the car just behind him there. Number 16, the car of Darrell Derringer. Now Derringer takes out after Junior again. There could be trouble there with car number 11, Ned Jarrett, being lapped. He has moved into that groove, you see, and now has blocked Darrell Derringer. Not intentionally, but you have to get up into that groove in the third turn, if you remember, in order to negotiate that turn. So Junior has gained on that one, and there's not very far to go. Derringer now gets by Jarrett, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it. Junior Johnson's going to be the winner of the Rebel 300. First time he's ever won a race at Darlington. Between the third and fourth turn, now the final turn of the day. Junior is headed for home, headed for the hen house. It's the chicken farmer from North Carolina. Well, we'll be back at Darlington in just a moment with Junior Johnson in Victory Lane.
This is one lap to go. The white flag is out.
And Leroy's got a clear shot at Glotzbach.
And there they go, into the upper turn.
They're on the final lap, about 6 car lengths separate.
And here's where it's going to happen. Down the backstretch, and Leroy picks up a little ground on Charlie Glotzbach. Leroy getting closer.
They're going close to 200 miles an hour here.
And Leroy takes him. Yarborough has taken the lead as they go side by side, splitting another car as they go by. At breakneck speed, Leroy Yarbrough has the lead on Glotzbach, and Charlie now will have to come down fast to the inside out of the number 4 turn.
He'll try and slingshot him if he has room.
And there's no room there. They come by, everybody standing and cheering. The checkered flag is out for Leroy Yarbrough, who takes the lead on the last lap.
What a finish.
He's a factor in this race right now. Oops, Allison goes high. It's the leader against the wall, both leaders. And Allison and Leroy Yarbrough hard up against that wall. They're both going out of the race, Jim. Both cars, the number 1 and 2 cars. Look out for Allison. He crashed into a concrete abutment there. Leroy Yarbrough's car, free of the abutment, as you see, coasting along. I don't know whether they'll be able to finish it or not. If he can't finish, if neither of them can finish, Cale could win the race. Here's the crash again. And Leroy's car has been started. He's back out on the track, and here's the situation. If this battered and beat up 69 Mercury can make it around just this one lap, the race is all over. Under the yellow flag. Cale Yarborough here is in second place, but he's a full lap behind.
The smoke is coming from the bodywork rubbing against the right rear tire, Jim.
But it's still underway, still in motion. Just a matter now of hundreds of yards from the finish line, and Leroy Yarborough will wrap it up. Young man from Columbia, South Carolina. Now there's the white flag. That'll be given to Cale Yarborough. He still has one lap to go, you see. But the checkered is standing by for that car that has not yet quite won the race. Leroy just about making it. There he is, coming into the middle of your picture right now, that white car. He's got about 50 yards to limp through, and here he comes. The checkered flag is out. Leroy Yarbrough has won the 1969 Rebel 400 at Darlington, South Carolina. We'll have a word with the winner in a minute. Very soon they'll be getting the white flag. The white flag is out. Baker is closing in. He's gained a little ground. Trying to set up for that slingshot effect coming out of the last turn if he can get close enough. Getting close enough to draft right now. It's going to be a sensational finish. Leroy Yarbrough going high, may be able to hold on. Coming out of the final turn. Leroy Yarbrough, the leader. He's going to win the Firecracker 400, and there it is. Buddy Baker is second.
And here he comes, closing in on Pearson. 1 lap to go on a mile and 3/8, and everybody cheering here, trying to spur on their favorite to win this race.
You get the boys in the pits excited. It's some automobile race.
All eyes riveted now on these two cars. That's where the battle is for this Southern 500, which will be today the Southern 316. And here goes Leroy past him. He got him.
On the inside going into turn 3. Now watch Pearson.
And Leroy just shut him out at that moment. And Dick Hutcherson, a former driver himself, knows now that it looks impossible to get by. Coming down the straightaway with Leroy's acceleration, he takes the flag in one of the most exciting finishes in all of stock car racing.
For his 6th major superspeedway victory of the year. What a record this boy Leroy Yarbrough is establishing this season.
David wanted to win the race, and I wanted to win the race. And the way that we go about doing this, I guess, is just run one another hard enough to break. It was pretty evident we weren't going to slow down regardless of what we got on our pit boards and all.
Now Leroy Yarbrough comes to the inside to David Pearson. He's trying to get around him. They've got some traffic in the first turn. He goes back Indian file. Leroy Yarbrough and David Pearson side by side looking for the lead, and Leroy Yarbrough is going to have it, it looks like.
But Pearson's engine has developed a misfire. It is over. Yarborough takes the checkered flag. Pearson is second on 7 cylinders. 17 of 40 cars finish the race.
Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Leroy Yarbrough, for a sensational 7 wins this year on the Super Speedway track.
Look out, something's blowing. Isaac's going to be out of it. He's blown the engine.
What a dramatic closing laps in this National 500. A tough break for Isaac, and Leroy Yarbrough goes by.
And there he is in the lead, Leroy Yarbrough. Bobby Isaac still spewing smoke, but rather surprisingly, there is no yellow flag being hung out. They're still racing under the green.
Could very well be that that smoke comes from oil on exhaust pipe rather than on the track, so they're going to let the race go.
Leroy Yarbrough with a solid lead now over car number 22, Bobby Allison. But the way this race has been going, stick around, although there's only a few laps left.
You sort of wonder what might happen to Leroy, Jim, despite the fact that only a few laps remain.
There's the second place car of Bobby Allison. You saw the difference between him and the leader up front, Leroy Yarbrough. Look out, another blown engine. This is number 39, Friday Hassler of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he's really spewing oil. The yellow light came on immediately, and the yellow flag coming out, as we say, there are not very many laps left. There's going to be a problem getting this track cleaned up in time to get the green out again.
That's right, and Fred Lorenzen had just moved into 3rd place in the same lap with the leaders when this happened.
Yep, there's coming into the pits is Friday Hassler. A quick reminder here to some of you viewers, including the northeastern part of the country, that right after Wide World you'll be seeing NCAA football, University of Washington at Stanford. Heisman Trophy candidate Jim Plunkett in action. Be sure to stay tuned for that. There's Fred Lorenzen into the pits right now. He tried to make that a 1-second pit stop, it looked like.
They're just too short. What they're doing there is trying to get him set up for a late race surge with fresh rubber on the outside. Remember now, when the yellow is out, Jim, a lap is never lost by an alert pit crew. They send him out, he can speed around and tack on the back, and the field is pretty thin now. So Freddie's going to be ready to charge when the green comes out.
Okay, but the yellow is still very much out right now at Charlotte. We'll be back for the finish of the race. So Leroy's going to be the winner, and Bobby just has to sit there.
Look at John Sears there trying to nose ahead. Won't do any good, though.
Well, he can dream anyway.
You wonder what's running through Bobby Allison's mind right now. He probably figures he could have easily gone by him if he just had one more lap.
Most frustrating thing in the world for a race driver. Kind of vaguely reminds me of the time Dan Gurney pushed his car across the finish line down Daytona. Remember that one?
That's right.
But this is a different situation, and there's the checkered flag even being waved slowly, indicating that Leroy Yarbrough has won the National 500 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. There's Junior Johnson, the winning owner, himself a great driver on the NASCAR circuit just a couple of years ago. One of the great characters in stock car racing in this country.
Down the straightaway now. It's Cale Yarborough for the white flag. 1 to go in American racing, putting a lap on Tony Bettenhausen. And Cale Yarborough is going to make it number 3 to join an elite trio. Herb Thomas and Buck Baker, the only 3-time winners of this classic. And Cale now halfway around on his final lap. $26,800 will go to the winner of this race. It'll be a big payday for Cale. Only 12 cars running now. Jackie, what's on Cale's mind heading for that checkered flag?
All that's in his mind is just a few yards, because right there, Cale Yarborough gets the checkered flag and wins this race.
On the tri-oval, Cale screams his Chevy under the white flag. One more lap, and this one goes in the history books. Comes, and the checkered flag snaps down on Cale Yarborough, winner of the 10th Annual Carolina 500.
And the white flag is coming out now for Cale Yarborough, for Bobby Allison, and for David Pearson. So 1 lap to go for Cale Yarborough in car number 11. And so you're looking at the Grand National NASCAR point leader for the season, Cale Yarborough. He's never been Grand National champion, although he's a $1 million winner. And this is a goal that he set for himself this year. Here come the other 2 cars, Bobby Allison and David Pearson, down the backstretch. And Pearson looks like he's in a perfect spot. Look at him come up.
This is the moment, Bill, and of course he does it. He's going onto the inside. Now, it's possible for Allison to come back on the outside, but the traffic has forced Pearson up.
And here comes the checkered for Cale Yarborough. A great roar goes up, and here they come off the final turn. It is David Pearson ahead of Bobby Allison, and he gets the checkered flag just about a car length ahead of Bobby Allison.
Coming for the white flag, which means 1 lap to go. It's being held furled, and now it's out. There it is. 1 lap to go, and
it certainly doesn't look as if Benny Parsons is close enough, unless he's got some extra RPMs he hasn't used.
He can't do it. He can't do it. I don't believe he can do it. Unless something happens to Cale Yarborough, I don't believe there's any opportunity for him to get there at all. There's the relationship. You can see it's wide open there. It's, of course, just fractions of seconds in a way, but it's too far on the racetrack. This is a big racetrack to cover, but I'm afraid they can't do it. It's 2.5 miles long, but they're now going into turn 3. He's already in it. Cale Yarborough is high in the banking there. There's no way that Benny Parsons can catch him now.
Well, what a beginning for the year 1977 it'll be for William Caleb Yarborough of Timmonsville, South Carolina. He won the NASCAR season-long championship last year, and now he wins the Daytona 500 at age 37 for the second time, 9 years after his initial victory here.
The starter about to put out the one-lap indicator on the field. And it comes down to a two-car shootout between Buddy Baker, 1976 winner of this event, hasn't won since, and Cale Yarborough, looking for his 51st victory today, seeking his first win at the Alabama International Motor Speedway in the back straightaway. Last time around, speed at over 190 miles per hour. A.J. Boyd's red car is in third, a lap down, and Skip Manning has appropriated fourth with that high attrition rate at the end of the race. And Manning is trying for third on the inside. Here they are at turn 3, headed for 4. Baker in front, in second, that white car. That is Cale Yarborough, and he drops to the inside. Headed for the tri-oval, side by side. A.J. Boyd comes high. It is Cale Yarborough breaking in front. Yarborough pulling away by 8 car lengths. Cale Yarborough will win the Alabama 500. Buddy Baker in second. A.J. Boyd finishing in third. Manning in fourth.
So the battle is between Parsons and Marcus for third place as we look at Cale Yarborough getting ready to come around and take the white flag.
Cale Yarborough going round there had a lot of trouble early on, had unscheduled pit stops, was more or less written out of the race by most everybody, and then has suddenly, by the fate of a yellow flag and unlapping himself just before the yellow flag came down, has brought himself back into contention, the man who's trying to go for his third straight NASCAR championship. And now he's on his very last lap as he's going around this racetrack. They've had the white flag, the car number 11 there being driven by Cale Yarborough. Tremendously consistent for the last 2 years. In second place back there, you've got David Pearson in second place, and the battle for third is the one that we've got to look at. There we see the battle right now with Benny Parsons. He's right now in third position. With number 2 is Dave Marcus.
So Cale Yarborough into turn 3. He'll come around turn 4 and take the checkered flag. And as Jackie said, seeking his third NASCAR Grand National title, something nobody in the history of NASCAR has done. He's the point leader this season, and he'll pick up several more here today.
And there it is, signaling one more lap to go. 32 more seconds. 4 more left turns to complete 367 laps. Although Waltrip's close to within 5 seconds, Yarborough's going to win this race if he keeps it running another half lap. Yarborough's winning game plan was simple. Stay out of trouble in the early laps. Race with men you can trust. Give everybody else a lot of room. Make your pit stop a little faster than the next man. And always use your head. And there's the checkered flag for Cale Yarborough. It's 4 hours, 17 minutes since the green flag waved.
Cale. Follow him around on his victory lap. He's in front of Mike Joy.
Yarborough swings to the inside of the dog leg, and the engine sputters and pops about 4 or 5 times going into turn 1. He brings it up high, up near the wall in turn number 2, chases down Buddy Arrington off the turn. He'll overlap Buddy before they get to turn 3.
It's going to be Cale Yarborough moving to the outside retaining wall as he works his way by Buddy Arrington of Martinsville, Virginia. Cale right now again pointing the car to the high side. It floats to the outside groove. He brings it back down and looks ahead to the checker flag.
The Busch Beer livery is on their feet as Cale Yarborough sticks his hand out the window and acknowledges the checkered flag in this Napa National 500. Yarborough wins the event.
The last lap, and the unsinkable Cale Yarborough focuses not on passing, but to keep from being passed, as the new superstar, Dale Earnhardt, number 2, searches for an opening. After 500 miles, less than a car length apart, but the car length that counts belongs to Timminsville, South Carolina's giant, Cale Yarborough. Cale Yarborough out-hustles, out-muscles a top field of NASCAR giants.
Cale Yarborough, the number 11 car, in one of his final drives for the Junior Johnson team. In 8 years, they've put together 3 consecutive national championships as Yarborough takes the white flag and heads into turn 1. Next year, he'll join the MC Anderson team. But he is bringing the Junior Johnson colors and number 11 around turn 3 and heading to the checkered flag. Harry Gant some 3 seconds back, the second place car, and Darrell Waltrip winding up third a lap down. Yarborough crosses the finish line and takes the checkered flag, winning the American 500 and boosting his season earnings to $400,000.
Petty lined up in the wrong position after a caution flag. NASCAR officials black flagged Petty and put him a lap down. That opened the door for Darrell Waltrip in car number 11. Ricky Rudd in car number 88 tried to catch Waltrip late in the race, but just couldn't do it, as defending champion Darrell Waltrip took the checkered flag.
Darrell Waltrip, Franklin, Tennessee, under the watchful eye of Junior Johnson. And let me tell you, if Waltrip is able to pull this one out, it is going to be quite the afternoon. White flag here for Waltrip.
His final lap around this 1-mile track in Rockingham. Let's follow him around. Darrell Waltrip started this race in 4th position beside Richard Petty in the second row. Unfortunately, Richard Petty did have to stop for fuel in the late stages of the race, giving the lead to Darrell Waltrip. And Waltrip now is about to win. There is Richard Petty, who is running in 3rd position.
It's been the lucky weeks. Last week winning at Richmond and right here at Rockingham.
Darrell Waltrip
wins again, makes it 2 in a row, winning after Richmond last weekend and again here this afternoon.
A lap and a half remaining. They're on the backstretch, and it's still Waltrip being stopped by Gant. You have to know that Darrell is not only driving his race, Jackie, but at this point, it seems he has that innate feel exactly where Gant is, and he's not going to give Harry any more room than he has to.
Well, it seems to me that Harry Gant's got the fastest car on the racetrack right now, not only in handling, but also in engine. And look there again, Darrell Waltrip drops low on the racetrack to make sure, in fact, that Harry Gant just simply can't get past, because cutting in to turn 1 there is where all the passing's been done.
They're on the last lap right now. They've taken the white flag. Down the back straightaway they go, and if Gant's going to make his move, he's running out of time.
Well, it's strategy right now. It is going to be, maybe this slower car could play an important part in this as they go high on the racetrack here. The slower car has made good use of the racetrack, been a gentleman, turned low, but now Harry Gant's going to have to make his move. That other car isn't helping him. He's not going to make it.
He won't have time. It's Darrell Waltrip taking the checkered flag.
With just 2 laps to go, Dale Earnhardt in the Wrangler James machine number 2 put this move on leader Richard Petty and took the lead. It looked like Earnhardt was going to taste victory for the first time in 1981. But then came Darrell Waltrip in his Mountain Dew car 11. Darrell started the race in the number 1 spot, and he was determined to finish number 1. With 1 lap to go, Waltrip outran Earnhardt to take the lead. And a minute and a half later, Waltrip took the checkered flag, a half second ahead of Earnhardt.
back to the green flag. The green flag is out. Less than 2.5 miles to go in this Pocono 500 as Richard Petty pulls out a lead. 1 lap to go to the finish. This will be a sprint. Petty is out in front right now, but the field is charging on. Cale Yarborough sitting right behind Petty. Waltrip sitting right behind Yarborough. The crowd certainly thinks that this is a battle for the lead as Yarborough puts a nose and then a full length of car ahead of Petty. One set of scoring charts shows Yarborough in the lead. One set shows him 1 lap down, so some confusion. Now Darrell Waltrip pulls alongside Petty. It is Yarborough out in front. Waltrip making a challenge alongside Petty. That could be a challenge for the lead. There is still some question whether 27 or 11 is actually in the lead. Now Yarborough brings it down to the line. Cale Yarborough is leading Darrell Waltrip. The crowd is cheering. They're cheering for Waltrip. They're cheering for Yarborough as Yarborough comes through the last turn and heads for the checkered flag. But who is actually the victor of this race? Here comes Yarborough, the checkered flag being given to Yarborough. Waltrip right behind him, but still a question mark. Which one of these two cars has won the Pocono 500?
The lead changed 8 times among 5 drivers. And with 197 laps to go, Darrell Waltrip took the lead for the final time and never looked back. The 6th and final caution period of the day came out with just 5 laps to go, and the race ended under caution with Darrell Waltrip taking the checkered flag 1 full lap ahead of Ricky Rudd and the rest of the pack. Towards the end of the race, Bobby Allison lost his brakes. Darrell Waltrip, with a superior car, walked away from Allison and the rest of the pack. He took the checkered flag a full lap ahead of his nearest competition.
It's Ricky Rudd with 1 lap to go in second place. And Darrell Waltrip eases back on the throttle. He can coast to a finish now. He doesn't want any problems with less than 1.5 miles to go. A 500 hard-fought miles for Darrell Waltrip. But Ricky Rudd in number 88, now leading Bobby Allison. This is the position that Allison certainly wants. He wants to sit in 3rd place so he can try and slingshot for the finish. Here's Darrell Waltrip. 2 turns to go. Now cruising through the 4th turn and points for the main straightaway. The battle continues for 2nd. Darrell Waltrip heads for the checkered flag. And Darrell Waltrip wins the Charlotte 500. Now, watching for that battle for 2nd place.
Late in the race, Dale Earnhardt was running his best race in over a year when he misjudged his distance and tapped Gary Ballou going into turn 3. The chain reaction accident sent Earnhardt into the mud in the infield. He lost valuable time and opened the door for Darrell Waltrip to take the lead. Waltrip led the last 100 laps and took the checkered flag 3/4 of a lap ahead of 2nd place, Dale Earnhardt.
Well, this big crowd filing out of Atlanta International Raceway, no doubt frustrated and disappointed because we had some terrific racing throughout the course of the day. The race stopped after 287 laps, or 438 of the 500 miles completed. Darrell Waltrip, who won earlier this year at Bristol, Tennessee, wins here at Atlanta, and Chris Economaki spoke with him in Victory Lane.
Terry Labonte brings the car off of the 2nd turn and still definitely within striking distance. Let's see how this thing ends. Waltrip off the... Oh, we have a problem in turn number 3. It involves our 2nd place car, Terry Labonte, and Bobby Allison. Labonte's car smoking badly as they have sheet metal rubbing against tire. Down the main straightaway, the yellow is out. There is Labonte in turn number 1, having a very difficult time steering that car because the sheet metal is definitely rubbing against the tire on the right front of the car.
A tough break for the young fellow who had driven a magnificent race here this afternoon, but something happened. Bobby Allison lost his car going into the turn, and Labonte hit him and hit the wall on the outside. You can see the damage. The tire is flat. He'll stay out on the racetrack, though, and because they can't pass him. Benny Parsons is right behind him. I think Dale Earnhardt has already gotten around it, but he'll stay out for the checkered flag, I'm sure, because the white flag will be coming up the next lap as Darrell Waltrip gets the white flag as we watch Labonte on the backstretch, but under the caution, they're not permitted to pass another car. And although we see some cars passing Labonte there, but
And so we will end this race under the caution, and Darrell Waltrip will be the winner. The field is being given the white flag right now. Terry Labonte staying out there, a tremendous disappointment for this young man who has driven a tremendous race here this afternoon, but had problems with 3 laps to go. Darrell Waltrip behind the pace car, going at about 40 miles an hour, comes off of the 4th turn and receives the checkered flag from Harold Kinder, and Darrell Waltrip has won the Northwestern Bank 400 from North Wilkesboro.
Remember that Waltrip has been beaten in the tri-oval in the last 2 consecutive races he's competed here. Labonte's got to try something. When will he do it, and what will Kyle Petty attempt?
The crowd has been on its feet for several laps, each individual rooting for his particular driver. We are on the final lap of the Winston 500. They're in the 2nd turn, headed for the backstretch. Benny Parsons goes to the inside of the racetrack. Darrell Waltrip moves to the outside of him. Terry Labonte tucked right in behind Darrell Waltrip. Now the car's down the 4,000-foot backstretch into the 33-degree banking of turn number 3. Darrell Waltrip has moved in the lead. Terry Labonte has moved into 2nd position with Benny Parsons riding right beside him. Kyle Petty in 4th. Here they come off of the 4th turn.
Parsons is frozen. He can't move.
Onto the tri-oval, and this is going to be the checkered flag. Here comes Darrell Waltrip. The body tried to make a move, but he cannot do it. Darrell Waltrip wins the Winston 500. Terry Labonte finishing in 2nd position. Benny Parsons was 3rd, and Kyle Petty was 4th.
Waltrip drops down to the inside of Dave Marcus as he comes out of that 4th corner. Harold Kinder sticks the finger up and gives him that white flag indicating 1 lap to go as he zips off into turn number 1.
He may not have expected to do this tonight, Barney, but he has certainly done it with alacrity. Darrell Waltrip has just walked all over this field tonight. He's going to put a move on Marcus down the backstretch and turn toward that checkered flag.
Darrell Waltrip picks his way under Dave Marcus. Here comes Bobby Allison, and those 3 cars will come to the finish stripe under a blanket. Marcus edges off and beats Waltrip to the flag. It'll be Darrell Waltrip winning here in the Busch 420, beating Terry Labonte and Harry Gant.
Coming down out of turn number 4, the white flag is extended. Waltrip is in front, Baker is in 2nd, and here comes Cale Yarborough on the outside. Yarborough beginning to roll. Remember those great Talladega finishes time after time. Remember the very first race, 1969, it was about 3 feet that decided it. They switch and slide, moving for spots. Terry Labonte stays right in the middle. Yarborough almost touches him. 4 deep and pulling away as they get side by side. 2 automobiles. Baker and Waltrip get a little bit of breathing room. Petty goes into 3rd spot. Here they come. Last time to 3 and 4. Baker in that 2nd spot. Waltrip in the lead. Can he stay there? Down they come. Crowd is up. 92,000 strong. Charging toward the finish line. Waltrip is there. Here comes Baker's move. They're 600 feet away from the line. Baker goes to the inside. Waltrip has won it. Darrell Waltrip.
We're on the last of 500 laps here in Dover, Delaware. Anything can happen in NASCAR Grand National Racing, and oftentimes does. Darrell Waltrip and Kyle Petty staging a tremendous duel. Only a half a mile to go.
Half a mile. Kyle's going to try one more time. You got to know it, yeah? He moves down underneath him, but Darrell shuts the door right now. He said, no way, kid, not today. Maybe sometime down the road, but not here at Dover. And there it is, the checkered flag. We've got a winner in the Dover 500, Darrell Waltrip. And there's the Junior Johnson crew, happy as always.
Here comes Darrell off of the 4th turn, and the white flag is being displayed. 1 more lap to go. Darrell Waltrip is less than 5/8 of a mile from victory. Waltrip now out of turn number 2, down the backstretch. Waltrip now into turn number 3 is going to be able to coast to victory from this point, and for the 10th time this year, Darrell Waltrip wins a Grand National race. He sticks his left hand outside of the car and salutes as he comes down the straightaway.
By lap 275, Bobby Allison, who at one point was a lap down, took the lead and pretty well dominated the last half of the event, fending off challenges by Neil Bonnett and Dale Earnhardt, both of whom later had engine trouble. Then it was Allison's number 88 and Waltrip's number 11 head-to-head. But on the final pit stop, Allison pushes too hard and spins coming off pit road. That costly error was all that Waltrip needed to log his 12th victory of the 1982 season.
Well, there'll be some chucking and jiving and Ingle Holler also tonight. That's just up the trail a piece from Junior's place, one of the legendary places in Grand National Racing. Junior, of course, from rural Ronda, which is just down the road a piece from here, and we're going to have some celebration there in the hills of North Carolina tonight.
And Darrell Waltrip receives the white flag. This is the last lap. Darrell Waltrip moving to the high side of Sterling Marlin from Columbia, Tennessee, one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. And Darrell Waltrip now setting his car into turn number 3. Now turn number 4 off of it onto the main straightaway. And Darrell Waltrip has done it. He has won his first Grand National race in 1983. Here's the race for second. Allison and Gant come down, and it's Bobby Allison staving off the challenge to finish second, and Harry Gant places third.
Well, we're in the closing laps of the Marty Robbins 420. Darrell Waltrip, the car behind him, is at least 2 laps down. There is nobody on the same lap, and we are in the final 4 turns of this race. Darrell Waltrip needs only complete 1 more circuit on the last lap. Darrell Waltrip right now, I would imagine, just holding his breath, as anybody would, looking to the flag stand for the checkered flag. Got it. Darrell Waltrip wins the Marty Robbins 420. They're slapping hands down at the Junior Johnson pits, and taking second place is Bobby Allison, but the night belongs to this man.
Harold Kinder, the official starter for NASCAR, held out 2 fingers to Darrell Waltrip that time around, signaling that there are 2 more laps to go. There is Dale Earnhardt and Bobby Allison and Terry Labonte single file down the backstretch. Out of turn number 4, and the white flag is displayed to Darrell Waltrip. Darrell has less than 5/8 of a mile to go before winning the Holly Farms 400. He's in turn number 2, off of it onto the backstretch. Darrell Waltrip less than a half a lap now from victory. The car ahead of him is the number 6 of D.K. Ulrich. He approaches the back end of that car, but off the accelerator just a little bit, and he wins the race. Finishing second is going to be Dale Earnhardt, and third is Bobby Allison. And Allison got up very high in turn number 4 there on the last lap in an attempt to catch Dale Earnhardt, but could not take the position away, and so that's how they finish. Waltrip wins, Earnhardt is second, and Bobby Allison finishes third.
By lap 443, Allison had over a lap lead on Waltrip when he made what was thought to be his final pit stop. But he shut off the engine, the crew pushed the car behind the pit wall, and went to work on a broken axle. 25 laps later, Allison rejoined the race to prove he still had the fastest car, although far behind. Darrell drove the Budweiser Chevrolet under the checkered flag 1.8 seconds in front of Terry Labonte, with Ron Bouchard third.
As Darrell Waltrip comes off of turn number 4, he'll be seeing the white flag from Harold Kinder. The car is miraculously clean and unscathed compared to some of the other cars that are still in competition out there. The white comes out, and it's 1 more lap for Darrell Waltrip.
A sigh of relief. That was the one he wanted to get by. The one 2 laps in the finish. Now he's behind Jimmy Means, and Clark Dwyer swings that car to the outside, going down the back. Car number 3 hits the brakes for the last time, keeps it right in the middle of the racing lane, which is right down and almost to the apron, lets it slide up and looks for 4.
Darrell Waltrip out of turn number 4 onto the straightaway, and the checkered flag falls. Darrell Waltrip has won the Trans-South 500.
Neil Bonnett going into second spot, and now he's trying to close, trying to move in on his teammate. Oh, and we've got a bad crash on the back straightaway. 3 cars into the wall coming out of turn number 2. Well back from the leaders, coming around for a white flag and a white and a caution. It's over. 88 Rusty Wallace has crashed. 88 Wallace has crashed. We'll try to have you take a look at it in a replay. Here he comes. Caution is out. Number 88 Wallace finishing up in a blaze of sparks, and a car on fire. It is car number 22. Allison's car coming down for the finish. The winner is going to be car number 11 will win it. 12 pulled up beside him, but they were under caution. Richard Petty is crashing, coming out of turn number 4. Richard Petty has just spun and looped it, and his car lies right in the center of the track.
An incredible finish.
Oh, Kyle Petty just missed it. Oh, he spins and his
Kyle Petty has crashed the main straightaway trying to miss his father. The whole track must be covered with metal and debris. Here's Bobby Allison backing down on pit road across the line. Car number 22, there is Bobby Allison. You see him on pit road backing across the stripe, still backing. Well, I've seen a lot of finishes in a lot of years, and I have never, ever seen anything like this.
I don't believe it. I don't believe this.
Labonte seems to be very good down on the bottom of the corners, particularly in 1 and 2. That may be Terry's last chance. Here comes Darrell through the tri-oval.
Harold Kinder waves the white flag. We have a car smoking very badly in turn number 1. You can see the smoke there. That is Jody Ridley. He's already been given the black flag. It probably will not bring out a caution for the last lap. Even if it does, the guys will race toward the checkered flag, and we're going to determine a winner here. There is Jody Ridley smoking badly at the end of the backstretch. Now the leaders approach the end of the backstretch with Darrell Waltrip being able to put a little bit of real estate between himself and Terry Labonte. They set their cars into turn number 3. 2 more turns to go before this champion spark plug 400 is history. Darrell Waltrip leads Terry Labonte off of turn number 4. The smoke from Jody.
Oh, Labonte in trouble almost.
He's sliding to the inside, but manages to regain control, and Darrell Waltrip wins the race. Labonte second, almost lost it there in turn 4, but managed to hang on. Here comes Bill Elliot, and it looks like that Bill is going to finish in 3rd position.
Good battle of these closing laps for the number 3 position between the car number 5 of Geoff Bodine and also Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. Here's the white flag. Got to be a big smile on your face about this time.
Man, you know, we overcame the problems that we had late in the race, and we had dominated all day, and it's just exciting when your crew does a good job, the car runs well, and you come off this 4th turn right here. Sigh of big relief. Think about calling the bank at home and saying, I'll be home with the money, guys.
Darrell Waltrip picks up the checkered flags, and Darrell Waltrip and the Junior Johnson team become victorious at Richmond, Virginia, and the Richmond 400. So, Darrell Waltrip, your big winner.
Harold Kinder has the flag in hand as Waltrip rounds off the corner. White flag, 1 lap to go for Waltrip to put the 6th notch in his gun for the 1984 season.
Darrell has had a pretty good year. You know, he's a couple hundred points behind in the championship, but 6 victories, you can't really say anything bad about that, Mike.
Waltrip into turn number 3 for the final time. Won't try to make the move on Baker. Here comes Ronnie Thomas as they move up on Doug Hebron.
He just passed the great Darrell Waltrip coming off the 4th corner for the checkered flag.
Waltrip wins the Goodies 500. And don't count them out of the championship just yet.
What's his 4 in a row now for this fall race here at North Wilkesboro?
4 in a row here at North Wilkesboro. Waltrip has won so many times. As he takes the white flag, he has 1 more lap to go. Darrell Waltrip with 7 wins, all of course coming in the last decade. He now moves to the inside of Dick Brooks, going down the backstretch. He decides to kind of hold forth there. He can see Harry again in his mirror. Harry can come right up and tap Darrell in the back bumper. Waltrip knows he's got the line. Out of turn number 4, racing downhill to the checker flag, and Waltrip has win number 7. Gann is second. Ellison holds off Bonnett for 4th.
Gant's the leader. He is 1 lap away from going to victory lane. Neil Bonnett is on his bumper. Terry Labonte and Lake Speed are right there.
Harry hung right on the bottom of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2. Neil Bonnett got a little bit high.
Back straightaway, and it looks like Gant all the way. He's got the advantage.
He really does. He gets up a little bit too high in turn 3.
Here comes Bonnett. Gant comes down to the bottom, and they touch. Gant gets a little out of shape. He's on the outside, but here comes Bonnett. It is too close to call.
I have no idea.
Too close to call. Bonnett's momentum carried him ahead of Gant into turn 1. Here they are. Gant's way up high on the racetrack, and he tries to come down on Neil Bonnett.
He tries to close off the inside, but Bonnett gets his car alongside. He just pushes Harry up the racetrack. See, he's got the right front up against the left rear quarter panel, and that's pushing the Skull Bandit up the racetrack.
Gant's car gets a little bit out of shape there. Here comes the Budweiser Chevrolet of Bonnett. Labonte's right behind them. He's got nowhere to go, and Lake Speed's not a factor. Now, that's the restart stripe. That's not the finish line. Bonnett pulls up closer, ever closer. Gant trying to hold that momentum. Here comes the finish line. Oh, and give it to Neil Bonnett.
Well,
That little bump there coming off of the second corner down the backstretch. Darrell wants Neil to know that he's back there. There are now 2 laps to go. The white flag will come out next time around. Waltrip again high on the racetrack. That's not the fast line. Waltrip settles back into second. Now they head down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Dick May, the slow car, right ahead of them. May cause some problems. Again, a bump by Darrell Waltrip. They come off the 4th corner. Harold Kinder waves the white flag. There's 1 to go.
Now, because Neil has been running so relatively slow, Allison and Rudd are closing up too. If these guys get together in turn 3 and 4, could it be Rudd or Allison? They're right together also.
Into turn number 3, Neil Bonnett still has the lead, but Darrell Waltrip is going to make one final bid to the inside. Now he looks low to the inside. Coming off the corner, he's not going to be able to do it. Neil Bonnett wins. Waltrip's 2nd spot. In 3rd place, it is Ricky Rudd, and 4th, Bobby Allison, although they cross almost side by side, and we may have to check the official scoring to determine who finished 3rd.
Back to the start-finish line. White flag for Waltrip. He's seeking to win his first Winston Cup race of the 1985 season. And on pit road, Earnhardt had to get a push to get going. Now he's away. He'll be the 4th place car, perhaps even 5th to Labonte. Back straightaway, and Waltrip is still at full song, tracking down Bobby Allison. Either one of these cars could run out of gas here and coast to the finish.
Absolutely. Darrell Waltrip's going to win this race.
Here's Waltrip under Allison. Doesn't make the move as they come off turn number 4. And nearly 150,000 race fans are on their feet. Waltrip has the gas. He goes the distance and wins the World 600. His first victory of 1985. White flag. 1 lap to go. Labonte is now a car length back of Waltrip, whose car is glued to the bottom of the racetrack.
It looks like the race traffic's far enough ahead of Darrell that it's not going to be come into play before he can get the checkered flag.
Off turn 4 for the final time. Darrell Waltrip comes down the front straightaway. Harold Kinder drops the checkered flag, and Waltrip scores his 2nd victory of the season.
White flag comes out of the leaders. White flag is out on the leaders. Final moments for Darrell Waltrip to win it this afternoon. Geoff Bodine and Bill Elliot. Bill Elliot, for the moment, seems to pick up a little bit of steam. He came out at number 4, and that car just laid sideways for about 400 feet, and you can see him go almost down to the grass to try to get it back. Coming around to take the checkered flag this afternoon. Give win number 3 of the 1985 season to Darrell Waltrip. He is across the line, finishing in 1st.
The lap car coming up. That could play a role in the next couple of feet. Look at this. Big problems in turn number 9. It is J.D. McDuffie, Harry Gett, and Michael Waltrip. And oh, Lord, in turn number 1, Terry Labonte has driven through a concrete wall. We'll get back to that in a moment, but let's not forget. The caution will come out, but the leaders will race to the flag. So down the back straightaway they come. It's still a race for these guys. There is Darrell Waltrip's wife, Stevie, very concerned. They're going to come around turn 9 and race to this flag. Let's see what happens. It is Tim Richmond with the advantage. Darrell Waltrip, this race will undoubtedly finish under yellow. So this is the last lap. Richmond got down a little bit too low. Richmond now with both inside wheels off into the dirt. Now he goes a little high. That's going to open the door for Darrell Waltrip. Sideways is Richmond. Look at this. This will be the finish of the race. It is Darrell Waltrip. You know that yellow is going to stay out. Look at Jimmy Johnson's crew. An incredible move. What a pass sideways by Darrell Waltrip underneath Tim Richmond coming off turn 9. An incredible pass. The last few feet of this race under green. The caution is out. And as you said, Steve Evans, it'll doubtlessly finish under the caution. A dejected Tim Richmond crewman watching his man lose it in the last few feet with a daring pass, a brilliant pass by this man, number 11, Darrell Waltrip. The current leader, unofficially still not the winner, but he is headed for almost certain victory if that car stays together for the last few hundred yards around this Riverside racetrack. What a finish here.
The checkered flag flew officially for the winner, Darrell Waltrip, here at the Budweiser 400.
Here comes Darrell out of the 4th corner. The white flag is being displayed by Harold Kinder, and Darrell Waltrip has 1 more lap to go. His advantage on Terry Labonte more than 8 seconds. He could coast home from here. He sets the car into turn number 3 on the high side of Mike Waltrip.
his brother, and here they come off the fourth corner. It's Darrell Waltrip winning the Busch 500.
Darrell Waltrip, originally out of Owensboro, Kentucky, now living, of course, in Franklin, Tennessee, the biggest winner in recent years on the NASCAR Winston Cup Trail, comes down this time to accept the white flag from Harold Kinder. Darrell Waltrip underneath the acknowledgments of the fans here at North Wilkesboro. He comes out of turn number 2, down the backstretch. Waltrip going into turn number 3 on this 5/8 mile semi-banked oval, looking for his third win of 1986. Darrell Waltrip coming down to collect win number 70, and Geoffrey Bodine as a second place.
It looks like it may be coming around Harold Kinder, taking that white flag in his right hand, about to put it out. It's down, and the last lap is underway for Neil Bonnett, Bessemer, Alabama, going down into turn number 1. Last circulation around this better-than-mile track. He'll have himself a new record if it all hangs together. Beautiful race for Bonnett today, and what a surprise. A good surprise for Neil Bonnett. Here he is for Tim Brewer and company, who had a disappointing season. Great way to come back. Neil Bonnett wins his 16th Winston Cup race by 2.5 seconds over the Ford Thunderbird. Ricky Rudd.
And we have a crash over in turn number 2. Not a crash, actually, but a spin involving Alan Kowicki, but it does bring out the caution flag, and Labonte will be coming down to receive the caution flag and also the white flag at the same time. So this race is going to end under caution, and Terry Labonte has it.
Well, coming back from adversity, you talk about he started out in the wall in turn 4 on the first caution flag of the day. A cut right front tire, and now he'll take that same Budweiser Chevrolet and an impressive effort by Tim Brewer, Junior Johnson, and the crew to victory lane. His first win in 50 starts for Terry Labonte. Win number 7. He will come down, Bob, and get the checkers.
And here it is. Labonte receives the checkered flag, and Terry Labonte wins his first Winston Cup race of 1987. He gives Junior Johnson another victory here at North Wilkesboro.
Boy, it's amazing that Earnhardt, if he has a tire problem, can stay out there that long. It's got to be a left side tire with a very slow lead.
And the white flag comes out for Terry Labonte.
Terry Labonte, originally from Corpus Christi, Texas, now from Archdale, North Carolina, is on the last lap of this First Union 400. Down the backstretch, Labonte in the Budweiser Chevrolet, prepared by Junior Johnson, whose place is just down the road. Labonte off of corner number 4. The checkered flag drops, and Terry Labonte wins his 8th Winston Cup race of his career.
And people will tell you that here at Pocono, you have got to qualify in the top 10 to win. Terry Labonte may prove that wrong today.
Nobody has ever come from as far back as where he started. Remember, he started 23rd, and with a white flag out, he is now within 2.5 miles of proving them all wrong.
Terry Labonte leads the final lap of the Miller High Life 500. Harry Gant in the 33 car is back in second, and should anything happen to either one of them, Dale Earnhardt ready to pounce.
A 32-year-old driver who at age 7 started his racing career in quarter midgets in Texas, now closing in on his first triumph of the season, and it doesn't look like Harry Gant is going to have the muscle to get there.
Nor, though, does it look like Harry Gant is in the twilight of his career, as some people thought. What an effort today.
That's a great story in itself. And if, in fact, Harry Gant finishes second, it'll be the 20th time in his career that he has done so. But right now, all eyes focused on the red and white colors of number 11. The crew awaits anxiously down that long front straightaway. Harold Kinder has the checkered flag in hand, and Terry Labonte has won the Miller High Life 500 at Pocono International Raceway.
It's going to be between those two.
White flag is down. Here we go to the side. The 21st annual Die Hard 500. Ford and Chevrolet in that ongoing confrontation. Ford out in front, the Junior Johnson car. Terry Labonte out of Texas. Darrell Waltrip looking for his 78th win, stays right there with him.
I think he'll try to make the move between turns 3 and 4 if he has enough. Let's see if he does. Terry Labonte is going to use that low line.
Pulls away a little. Halfway around.
Darrell Waltrip perhaps backed off to try to build some momentum. As he comes off of turn 4, he's going to try to build enough momentum to grab past him.
Closing. Waltrip moving up as they hit the tri-oval. Coming down. Terry Labonte in front. Waltrip looking for room, about 1,000 feet to go. To the inside comes Waltrip. He's there. They're almost side by side. To the line. Terry Labonte will win for the Junior Johnson crew. He did it for Mom.
And Harold Kinder has it in hand. Here it is. One more lap to go for Geoff Bodine, and he'll win the Haynes Activewear 500. Bodine looking for Winston Cup win number 8 and his first victory since October of last year when he won on the short track at North Wilkesboro. He's got his hand in the air waving to people even though he's not finished the race yet. Here he is off the 4th corner, and Geoff Bodine from Chemung, New York wins the Haynes Activewear 500 at Martinsville.
You know, every one of these guys wishes they could pull in a hat and pull out a wand or something that could give them some kind of, they're all trying to figure, what can I do to give me an edge? What do I need to get up on his bumper, lay back? What do I need to do? Oh, but Joe Bodine has stood on already. Look what a jump he's going to get. Geoff Bodine stood on it.
He is going to get a decided advantage over second place Harry Gant. Here they come down. The green flag and the white flag wave simultaneously. One more lap to go. Geoff Bodine has the lead as they head into turn number 1. He has a car between himself and second place Harry Gant. That is Dick Trickle in car number 66.
But does he have enough gas to get back to the start-finish line at full speed?
That is the question that we will answer in about 45 seconds. Down the long pond straightaway, 3,055 feet in length. Headed for turn number 2 with 8 degrees of banking. And Harry Gant is out of fuel. Harry Gant is out of gas, and he will not finish second. Bill Elliot now finds himself in the runner-up spot. There is Gant out of fuel off the second corner, and everybody else passing him by. It appears to be in good shape, however, for Geoff Bodine as he remains on the throttle, and the car appears to have enough gas that carries him to the checkered flag. Here he comes off corner number 3. He indeed will win the AC Spark Plug 500. Geoff Bodine wins. Bill Elliott is second. Rusty Wallace third, followed by Dale Earnhardt and Davey Allison.
The white flag will come out this time around for Geoff Bodine. There it is. One more circuit of this .526-mile track. Geoff Bodine, third in points. There is the battle for third position on the racetrack. As Mark Martin is holding off Brent Bodine at the moment. This will be the third win of 1994, Geoff Bodine. Here he comes off of corner number 4. The white flag is awaiting him, and he takes the checkered flag for the third win of the year for Geoff Bodine and his second here at Martinsville. There's the battle for third. That's won by Mark Martin.
This would be his first win, 1991, if he can stay there. It's been a real chessboard out here this afternoon. And apparently Tim Brewer is a master player. White flag coming out and 1 remaining.
If it'll make it down the back straightaway, and the straightaway is where it's going to run out of fuel. If it'll make it down the straightaway, it's going to pick up some more in the corner. He can get there. If he can just get to the end of the back straightaway and get that last outside of it.
You can pack up that Sears Craftsman kit and give it to Tim Brewer, that crew chief on that car. It's some savvy move. If he can hang together here, he's going to bring him home and give Bodine his first victory of 1991. It's going to happen at the Mellow Yellow 500. The checkers are out, and the winner is Bodine. What a finish. Now let's see if he can get it back to victory lane.
Norman Koshimuzu, the gas man for Robert Yates. Well, they've done their job.
White flag.
Ernie Irvin on pit road.
Must be fuel or something for him to stop this late.
1 to go.
1 to go, and he had to come in for fuel. But nobody's there. They don't have it there. They found some. They wasn't expecting it because, I mean, when he came down pit road, they were looking for a fuel can.
They don't know what he wants. There it is. It's a little gas and a little ether in the carburetor. And here comes Bill Elliott, poised to win his first race for Junior Johnson in the Budweiser Ford. Takes home the laurels and the winner's share of the Goodwrench 500.
Here comes Kowicki back in the main straightaway. Made it up that time.
White flag, Ken, right now.
1 lap to go. This is for everything. It's Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia on the outside. Wisconsin's Alan Kowicki on the inside. Side by side down the back straightaway. Even as they go to turn 3. Kowicki there. Elliott pulls a little ahead on the outside. Driving for the finish. Here comes Kowicki up on the bottom of the racetrack. Kowicki going for all of it. They touch and across the line. It's Elliott. Bill Elliott has done it by about a foot to a foot and a half. Incredible finish.
So Bill Elliott works it off the corners.
If I was Bill, I think I would back off just a little bit more because there's a big pack of cars right direct in front of him. White flag.
Mile and a half to go, the 500 miles for Bill Elliott. As with a strong lead, he goes into the first and second turn and is on his way to making it 3 in a row. Gant runs alone in second place as he flashes across the line. But Bill is definitely awesome today. He's won 3 of 4 races if he can only make it to the checkered flag.
He comes off number 4 turn, Paul. He can slide the rest of the way.
And here comes Bill Elliott. 3 in a row as Elliott wins on his hometown track here at Atlanta.
Here's the white flag for Bill Elliott. 1 more lap to go.
How about since the North Wilkesboro run? Dale Earnhardt won, and then Ford did win the race in Charlotte. Last lap for Elliott. Imagine that Budweiser crew. There's a race for position.
Yeah, the 26 car of Brett Bodine has...
No, I don't think that was for position. Bodine is a lap down.
No, you're right, yeah. Brett is in 5th.
That's what I get to think.
Here comes Elliott off the corner. Checkered flag is waiting. There it is. Elliott wins his 4th consecutive Winston Cup race in 1992. So the white flag is out, causing some fire, but Richard is back out on the racetrack. The white flag is out. Now Alan Kowicki comes down and gets it. There is less than 1 lap to go around this 1.5 mile oval at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are not following the winner, the leader of the race. We are focused in on Alan Kowicki, who is going to win the 1992 NASCAR Winston Cup and the $1 million bonus that goes with it. Bill Elliott comes off the 4th corner. He wins the Hooters 500.
You got to salute this guy because he's trying every inch of the racetrack and for every groove. He has 1 lap to see if he can get the job done. The white comes out. Ernie Irvan leads the last lap. Let's see if Jimmy Spencer can get the job done here on the final circuit of this event. He heads up high on the racetrack once again with a lot of momentum buildup.
Yep, he's making Ernie protect that low side of the racetrack. He's going to have some momentum when he comes off this turn ball. He's going to have enough to move up beside him, I believe.
And he makes a move to the inside at the halfway point down the backstretch, and he gets the lead, or at least he gets an advantage on Earnhardt. They touch coming down the backstretch. That's Ernie. Earnhardt side by side here. They come for the checkered flag. Who's going to be? Will it be Ernie Irvan on top or Jimmy Spencer on the low side? Off of corner number 4. Here they come. It's going to be a drag race to the checkered flag. Jimmy Spencer wins it. Whoa, baby. How about that? Jimmy Spencer becomes the 3rd first-time winner in 1994.
White flag is out. 1 to go. Jimmy Spencer bears down. Bill Elliott comes after him. Here comes Schrader looking high. Don't think he has time enough now. It's between the Junior Johnson cars, Ned.
Yeah, Ernie Irvan went a little high there, lost some distance between the 2 front runners. Now he's going to have to fend off Ken Schrader. Here comes Elliott, trying to move down on the inside. Now he goes to the outside as Spencer blocks him off there, goes high and blocks him off up there.
What they need is a 3rd dancing partner.
Elliott needs a little help to be able to get by, but he doesn't have any help.
Elliott, everybody's pretty much on their own. We'll take 1 more shot for sure in this tri-oval. Here he comes, up to the outside, guns it for the inside. Here we come for the finish. Coming to the stripe, it's Spencer. Jimmy Spencer has just won his 2nd restricted plate super speedway race, defeating his teammate Bill Elliott at the line. Oh, he wasn't going to let him through. White flag. And listen to this crowd, the 8-time most popular driver in NASCAR. Trying to hang on to get his first win. Earnhardt runs in second spot. Morgan Shepherd third, Ricky Rudd fourth, and Sterling Marlin in fifth position.
You can almost coast around now, Beckett, Terry. If it blows up now, you can probably coast to the start-finish line.
45th annual Southern 500 comes to a close, and Bill Elliott takes the win as he waves to the crowd. And beneath that helmet, he has got to be smiling. And get that net down so he can wave to those fans. One of the most popular drivers in NASCAR, and boy, are they celebrating in the pits. Let's go to Marty Reed.